Alright, sa video ito, discuss naman natin what is strap footing. So strap footing, also called the cantilever footing, is a type of combined footing where two or more columns are connected by a concrete beam called the strap to distribute loads and prevent overturning, especially when columns are close to property lines or soil conditions are problematic. So ito yung typical na setup natin para sa ating strap footing. So again, minention na rin dito na advantages ang paggamit ng strap footing kapag yung isang pundasyon natin ay adjacent to the property line. So kapag adjacent ito, kailangan mo siyang lagyan ng strap beam dito. Okay? By the way, this is what we call the strap beam. So by connecting these two foundation, magiging strap footing na yung setup natin dito sa ating mga pundasyon natin dito. Another thing na advantages itong ating strap footing is kapag yung soil conditions natin ay problematic, then also para na rin ma-prevent natin yung pag-overturn. So kailan ba nagkakaroon ng overturning? Kapag sobrang lakas ng pressure sa ilalim ng lupa natin na nagkakaroon ng uplift, then possible matumba yung ating pundasyon. So para ma-prevent yon, kailangan natin gawin ito na combined footing. Options natin yung rectangular combined footing, trapezoidal combined footing, or pwede rin naman itong simple lang na strap footing. Isang advantage pa ng strap footing is makakatipid tayo sa volume ng concrete. Okay, connect mo lang yung ating dalawang pundasyon para maging combined. So yun yung isang advantage pa netong strap footing natin. Okay, next yung design considerations naman natin para sa ating strap footing. Say for example, ito yung ating plan view and the elevation view of the strap footing natin. Number one consideration, the external footing is a concrete wall footing. So nasan ba dito yung ating external footing between footing A and footing B? So of course, yung ating external dito is the one touching the property line. Labas na yan essentially, no? So ito yung ating external footing. Now, ang sabi dito, magbe-behave daw siya na parang concrete wall footing. So for example, ito yung ating column, extend lang natin ito, magiging concrete wall footing na ito ang ating external footing. Number 2 consideration, the contact pressure is uniform. Anong ibig sabihin nito? So yung pressure sa ilalim ng footing A ay dapat equal dun sa pressure na nangyayari dun sa ating footing B. Of course, no, this is combined footing. So essentially, kung ano man yung nangyayari sa A, yun din dapat yung nangyayari sa B. Dahil as one naman na talaga sila dito. Okay? And then last consideration, the interior footing is isolated with a large column commonly designed as a square footing. Okay, sabi dito, madalas ang shape talaga nung ating mga interior footing ay square footing. So yung footing A dito, pwede itong maging rectangular essentially, no? Tapos sabi rin dito, yung interior footing natin, madalas meron siyang large column compared dito sa footing A. So etong interior kasi, sila yung may pinakamalalaking loads na binubuhat sa mga buildings. Kaya dapat sila talaga yung may pinakamalaking size ng column and then also may pinakamalaking size na pundasyon. Okay? So yun yung criteria natin para dito. Now to solve the QU here, so ito pa rin naman yung sa formula ng isolated footing, i-adapt pa rin natin dito. RU divided by area of the footing. However, yung RU na natin dito ay ma-expand, no? Dahil meron na tayo dito ang dalawang pundasyon bale, no? Parang dalawang isolated na yung tinitignan natin dito. So that is PUA, okay? Yung ultimate na nangyayari dito sa footing A natin plus yung ultimate na nangyayari dun sa B, divide it by the area of the footing A plus the area of the footing B. So parang ganito pa rin naman. Sa isolated, ito yung formula natin, and then sa strap naman is combined na kumbaga, no? Plus lang natin. Okay, and then for the dimension, ito pa rin naman yung formulas din natin, no? The QE is equal to the RA over area of the footing A, or this is equal to RB divided by area of the footing B. Of course, yung mga R dito, ito na yung magiging service loads din natin dapat, no? Kasi dimensions, again, service loads dapat yung mga loads natin dito. Now, ito naman yung magiging RAU natin and then the RBU. So, hiwalay na to bale, no? Take note that now we have two resultants or reactions dito sa ating strap footing. So, RAU, ibig sabihin ultimate ito, no? So, ide-derive natin ito dito. Babalikan lang natin ito. Separately natin silang gagawin, no? So, pag solve natin yung QU nung as1, ito yung gagamitin natin na formula. And then, for solving RA and then RB, babalik tayo sa formulang ito. So, hiwalay natin sila mamaya. Okay? So, ito naman yung sa design ng strap beam natin. So, for the strap beam, number 1, yung strap width natin is nasosolve natin by considering the larger column dimension, tapos nagdadagdag tayo ng 100 to 200 mm na additional. Okay? Number 2, the design moment and shear is calculated from the edge of the footing pad. Ang ibig sabihin nun, kung ito yung ating strap footing, ito yung edge na sinasabi niya, no? So, yung edge ng ating strap beam. So, dito merong lalabas na VU and MU for both edges. Take note na yung VU natin dito sa left footing ay dapat or always equal sa VU dito sa right footing. Pero yung MU is not always equal. So kung magde-design tayo ng bakal or main bar nitong ating strap beam, kunin na lang natin kung sino yung pinakamalaking MU between left and the right. Step 3, the strap depth. Use the equation VU must be greater or equal to the VVN, where the VVN here is simply equal to 0.75 yung phi natin, then yung VN natin, okay, yung nominal shear natin is simply 1/6 lambda square root F prime C BD. Then for the shear reinforcement, dito na siya papasok. So kunin lang natin dito yung magiging spacing natin muna. So ang sinosolve kasi natin dito sa step na to is the D. Okay, so pagka-solve natin nung D, kunin natin siya dito. D over 2, then compare dun sa 600 mm. So kung sino man yung pinakamaliit doon, so yun yung i-adapt natin na spacing. Then yung spacing na makukuha natin dito is gagamitin natin sa formula ng minimum. AV is equal to 0.35 BW. This is the width of the strap beam. Yung S, yung nakuha natin dito sa step number 4. Then divide this by the FYT nung ating shear reinforcement for the strap beam. And then dito, meron ka na ditong area ng shear para dito sa ating strap beam. Okay, AV is equal to 0.35 BWS over FYT. Alright, example number 3, strap footing. Two 0.4 by 0.4 meter columns 6 meter apart are transmitting loads on two separate footings connected together with the strap beam. The left column carries 300 kN of dead load and 250 kN of live load, while the right column carries 500 kN dead and 400 kN live. The allowable net soil pressure is 120 kPa. The reactions for both footings are spaced 5 meters apart. Assume weightless strap beam. Use one effective depth for all calculations. F prime C is 21 megapascal and Fy is equal to 276 megapascal. The bar diameter is also 25 mm. Okay, so meron tayo dito ang strap footing. Okay, so yung column distances natin dito, center to center is 6 meters as mentioned na rin dito sa ating problem. Okay, and then meron pa ditong isang distance na minention, yung 5 meters apart, yung reactions daw. Okay, so yung reactions natin dito, so RA and then the RB. So tawagin natin tong footing A and then footing B na lang itong interior natin. So RA and then RB. So they are 5 meters apart. So again, no, yung center to center nung ating column, that is 6 meters. Then yung center to center nung ating reaction is 5 meters. So again, no, recall natin na yung mga reactions or resultants natin, they are always acting at the center of the footing. So yung kung ito yung footing A natin, yung RA natin nag-a-act sa center ng ating footing A, then yung RB naman nag-a-act dun sa center ng ating footing B. So yung sa RB, concentric na siya dito sa ating column. Pero yung sa may RA natin, so yung column natin is nasa adjacent to the property line. So yung ating RA, yung centroid niya is somewhere here. Okay? Kaya meron siyang distance dito. So of course, dahil meron ditong sobra na, no, na 1 meter. Kasi alam natin 6 meters ito kanina. Reaction distance is 5 meters. So merong sobra dito na 1 meter. And then ito yung mga loads na natin dito. For the footing A, yung left column daw, 300 yung dead, then 250 yung kanyang right. Yung live. Tapos dito naman sa right column, we have 500 for the dead and then 400 for the live. So, kahit hindi sabihin yung left or right column dito, dapat alam natin, no, na etong interior natin, siya dapat yung magbubuhat nung pinaka malalaking loads. Okay? Ano man yung summation neto, for example, this one is 550 and then this one is 900. So, yung 900, dapat dun natin i-load sa interior column lagi. Okay? So yun yung ating isang assumption dito. Now ito yung mga tanong. Determine the dimension of the footing A, which is a rectangular daw, to have a uniform soil pressure. Dimension of the footing B, the square, to have a uniform soil pressure. Letter C, the effective thickness of footing A and B for wide beam only. Okay, and then D, the number of main reinforcement for footing A. And then E, assume width equal to 500 mm. What is the required shear reinforcement of the strap beam? Okay, so ito yung ating strap footing elevation. Okay, so nandito na yung mga deads and live natin and everything. So unahin na natin dito i-calculate muna yung mga service loads natin. Okay, so for PA, this is simply dead plus live. So 300 plus 250 is 500. Then for PB naman, that is dead plus live din. 500 plus 400, that is 900 kilonewton. Okay, then solve na rin natin dito yung factored loads. So for PA ultimate, that is 1.2 dead plus 1.6 live, or 1.2 ng 300 plus 1.6 ng 250 is 760 kilonewton. Then for PBU naman, that is 1.2 ng 500 plus 1.6 ng 400. Then we have 1,240 kilonewton. Okay, so ito yung isa sa mga unang steps natin dapat, no? Separate na natin yung service and then the factored loads para diretso inputs na lang tayo. Okay, so for A, tanong dito is yung dimension daw nung ating footing A. Okay, so for example, this one is the footing A natin. Okay, then nandito yung ating PA dito, which is equal to 550 kilonewton. Okay, so magkakaroon dito ng reaction A daw na nag-a-act dito sa center ng ating pundasyon. Okay, so for example, this is the length of the ating foundation A. Recall natin, resultant acts at the centroid of the foundation. So kung X distance yung nandito, dapat X distance din yung nasa right. So paano natin kunin dito yung length ng ating pundasyon? So actually, so recall natin na yung kanina dito, yung centroid nung column A papunta dun sa reaction, meron pa tayong sobra na 1 meter. So ito yan kanina, no? Tapos ang ating distance na to, okay, so it is actually at the center of our column. Now yung column natin dito sa column A, or actually both of the columns natin ay 0.4 by 0.4. So yung half nung 0.4 natin, that is actually 0.2. So dito pa lang pwede na natin kunin actually yung X natin dito. So yung X is simply 0.2 plus 1. So we have 1.2 meters. Then we can actually see, no, that L is simply 2X. So yung L natin dito ay na-solve na natin kaagad, no, just by looking. So 2.4 meters. Okay, and then take note, no, para makumpleto natin yung dimension ng ating rectangular footing A, the net pressure here is 120 kilopascal as mentioned dun sa problem natin. Then ito lang yung gagamitin natin. Q effective is simply equal to the RA, the reaction A, divided by the area of the footing. Then pwede natin itong simplify. Yung area ng footing is simply length times the width. Okay, then yung QE natin, yun pa rin naman. So substitute natin dito. QE is 120 kilopascal is equal to RA, di natin alam, divided by 2.4 yung length times yung width na hindi rin natin alam pa. Okay, so pwede nating sabihin that RA is equal to 120 times 2.4, that is 288 times yung W. Then, say for example, tawagin natin tong equation number 1. Okay, so again, no, yung distance daw ng ating column to column ay 6 meters. Okay, so nandito yung PA natin 550, then yung PB natin na 900. So service lang muna yung tinitignan natin dito kasi dimension yung kailangan natin. Okay, so para makuha natin, no, yung magiging value ng RA, para makuha natin yung W, simply we take moment from the center of the column B. So papasok yung PB, so 0 na yan, wala siyang moment arm. Then papasok din yung RB natin, wala rin siyang moment arm. So sino yung mga papasok lang dito? Okay, so by equation, so this is summation of moment dun sa B equal to 0. RA times 5, that is clockwise, kaya positive. Then minus 550 times 6, which is negative, kasi counterclockwise, is equal to 0. So pwede na nating sabihin that RA is equal to 660 kilonewton. And then babalikan natin yung ating equation A. So RA is equal to 288 W. Then pwede natin sabihin na yung W ay 2.291 something or 2.3 meters. Then meron na tayong dimension for the A, that is simply L by width, or yung length natin ay 2.4, then yung width natin na 2.3. Then this will be our answer for footing A. Okay? And then next, sunod natin dito. We take the forces vertical. Okay, so meron na tayong RA, meron na tayong PA, and then meron na tayong PB. So kunin na rin natin dito ano ba yung value ng RB. So summation of forces vertical equal to 0. Okay, yung RA and RB natin pataas parehas, so positive. Then yung PB and PA natin dito ay pababa, so negative. Then substitute everything, 660 plus RB minus 550 minus 900. So meron tayo ditong RB na equal to 790 kilonewton. Then pwede na nating isolve din yung ating dimension for the footing B. Merong PB dito, and then meron tayong RB. So concentric yung PB natin and then the RB. Then recall natin ulit that the net pressure is equal to 120 kilopascal. Then gamitin din natin yung formula na QE equal to this time yung RB naman, then the area of the footing B. So pwede nating sabihin that QE is 120, then yung RB natin na-solve na natin 790, then divide this by S square. So bakit S square? Kasi square yung ating footing B. Okay, so finally meron tayo ditong S na equal to 2.565 something or 2.6 meters. So ito na yung ating dimension for the footing B. Then next, solve na natin agad yung ating QU. So ito yung ating strap ulit. This time naman, dahil QU na yung sinosolve natin, input natin dito this time yung mga ultimate na PA and then PB naman. So hindi na yung PA na service and then PB na service ang ilalagay natin. QU na yung sinosolve natin, so dapat ultimate na rin yung mga actual loads natin. Okay, so nasolve na rin naman natin yan kanina. Now, to solve the QU, ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. Ultimate nung A plus ultimate nung B divided by area of the footing A plus the area of the footing B. So again, yung ultimate natin for A, that is 760 plus for the B naman, 1240. Then, yung area ng ating footing A is simply 2.4 by 2.3. Yan yung rectangular. And then, 2.6 square naman para dun sa ating footing B. Then, finally, pwede na nating sabihin that QE is simply 162.87 kilopascal. Okay, so for the letter C, design thickness of the wide beam for footing A and the footing B. So wide beam lang yung mention dito, no? So i-check lang natin yung wide beam nung dalawa, and then kung ano man yung mag-govern na thickness, yun na yun. So again, take note that the external footing is a concrete wall footing. So ito yung ating design consideration number 1 kanina, no? So ito yung magiging analysis natin dito for the wide beam. Now, footing A will act as a wall footing. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Again, ito yung ating footing A kanina. So, kinat na natin dito yung strap beam natin. Now, again, the footing A will act as a wall footing. So, extend lang natin yan dito. So, ito, yung column natin, magiging wall na siya. Now, dahil wall na yan, balikan natin yung ating table 413.2.7.1 that for a concrete wall, yung ating location ng MU is at the face of the wall. So, dito na natin susukatin yung mga effective depth natin. Okay, yung D distance para makalculate natin yung wide beam. Okay, so for punching, D over 2. For wide beam naman, D distance. Okay, so for example, D distance dito. And then, nandito na yung ating mga wide beam. So, dito masisira, no? Ito yung critical for wide beam dito sa ating footing A. Now, for the wide beam for footing A, say for example, ito yung ating plan view na kanina. So, yung length natin, that is 2.4. Then, yung width natin ay 2.3. Then, yung wall footing natin dito, or ay yung column natin ay 0.4. So, yung ating wall dito, i-assume natin na 0.4 na rin dito. So, again, the distance no, from the face of the wall natin, dun mangyayari yung critical for wide beam. Okay, and then kahit isa na lang dito yung tignan natin, bale. Okay, so for example, ito na lang yung consider natin kasi parehas lang naman yan dun sa itaas. Paano natin malalaman yung area ng critical section natin? Okay, so meron na tayo ditong 2.4 na gusto nating malaman ano ba yung distance na to dito. So, again, meron tayo ditong 2.3, ibawas lang natin yung 0.4. So, meron tayong 1.9. Okay, so yung 1.9 na yun, paghahatian nitong dito and then dito sa taas. So, that is equal to 1.9 divided by 2, that is equal to 0.95. So, yung distance na to ay equal to 0.95. So, parehas na yan dito. Now, pwede na natin kunin kung ano man yung excess dito. So, again, ito ay the distance. Alam natin na this must be equal to 0.95 minus yung D. Okay, so yung ating critical area for wide beam is simply 2.4 by 0.95 minus the D. Okay, so ito yung ating QU dito, no? So ito yung ating footing, and then ito yung kanyang wall kanina. So kung mapapansin natin, in-extend na natin siya hanggang dito dahil magbe-behave naman siya na parang wall. Now, para makuha yung ating effective depth dito, kasi unknown siya, okay, so equate lang natin yung capacity dun sa required. So ang ibig sabihin lang nito, dapat yung allowable VU natin must be equal to the actual VU. Okay, so when we say allowable, ito yung gamit yung kanyang section lang, and then yung actual naman ay gamit yung mga load na nangyayari dito sa ilalim ng ating pundasyon. So for the VU allowable, this is simply equal to the phi VC. Okay, so 0.75 yung phi natin, yung VC natin ay 1/6 lambda square root F prime C BD. Then equate this to the VU actual. So yung VU actual is using the loads. So that is simply the QU times the area shaded. Now, substitute natin lahat dito. 0.75 times 1/6. Yung lambda natin walang binigay. So, assume natin na 1 square root of 21 times 2.4 by D. Okay, so yung B natin, yung width natin ay yung 2.4 times yung D natin ay, okay, yung effective depth natin dito. Ito yung area, no? So, hindi natin nakikita dito. Kung naputol ito dito, so yung cross-section natin ay BD. 2.4 by D. Tapos, we multiply here 1,000. Kasi may ginawa natin ito na meters na dati. Okay, so mag-multiply lang tayo dito ng 1,000 para maging meters mamaya yung masosolve natin na D. Then equate this to QU area shaded. Yung QU natin ay 162.87 times yung area shaded natin ay 2.4 by 0.95 minus the D. So pwede na natin tong i-simplify or pwede na natin ditong masolve yung ating D. So siguro simplify lang natin muna. Lahat ng mga constant nilagay ko dito sa may bandang left equation. So, yung naiwan ay 3.517 something times the D is equal to 0.95 minus the D. Okay, so finally, pwede na natin dito makuha yung value ng D. 0.2103 meters. Okay, so hindi pa to yung sagot. Again, we're looking at the footing A pa lang dito. Next, for the footing B naman, this is a square footing. Okay, 0.4 pa rin naman yung ating columns. Then, ito naman yung kanyang elevation view. Dahil square naman ito, kahit saan na tayo magsukat ng D distance for the wide beam. And then for this example, kunyari dito na lang natin siya sukatin sa may bandang itaas. Okay, and then of course, ito na yung critical for the wide beam para dito sa ating footing B. Now, ito yung distance natin na 1.1 minus D. So, paano naman nakuha itong 1.1 na yan? Okay, again, meron tayo ditong 2.6. Then, i-less lang natin yung 0.4 muna. So, that is 2.2. So, 2.2 dito sa taas. Then, dito sa taas and baba. Okay, so 2.2 yung naiwan. Bale. So, paghahatian nyo nung taas and then yung baba. So, 2.2 divided by 2 is simply the 1.1. Okay? So, yung distance na to ay 1.1 na. Then, kung gusto lang natin malaman yung part na to, 1.1, i-minus lang natin yung D dito. Kaya yun yung kanyang magnitude dito. And then, ganun pa rin naman yung gagawin natin. Equate the capacity to the required. VU allowable is equal to the actual. Okay? And then, for the allowable, ito pa rin naman yung area natin. Then, yung formula natin. Then, VU actual, ganito pa rin naman. Area shaded times QU. And then, try natin tong i-simplify pa, no? So, dito sa left side, halos same siya kanina dun sa footing A. That is 3.517 something times D is equal to yung naiwan dito sa right equation natin na 1.1 minus the D. Okay, so ito lang pinagkaiba nila. And finally, meron na tayo ditong D na equal to 0.2435 meters. So, comparing this D dun sa kanina, which is 0.21 something, okay, so ito yung mag-govern na effective depth. Okay, so yung mas makapal na effective depth, siya yung mag-govern. Now, using this one, since the effective depth of the B governs, calculate natin yung magiging design thickness na natin para dito sa ating pundasyon ng A and the B. Okay, so kung ano man yung gagamitin natin na thickness dito, all throughout, parehas na siya dun sa A and B. Now, to calculate the thickness of the foundation, so for example, no, ito yung ating wide beam. Okay, so yung effective depth ng wide beam natin ay susukatin natin sa centroid ng ating top bar. Actually, regardless kung punching man yung mag-govern, ganito pa rin natin siya susukatin. Always dito sa centroid ng top bar. Okay, take note, no, for the design of the thickness, ito yung lagi natin gagamitin. Always natin gagamitin na formula is equal to effective depth plus 1.5 diameter plus the concrete cover. Now, ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Now, kung nilagay kasi natin yung effective depth dito sa ating centroid ng ating top bar, magproproduce ito ng mas makapal na pundasyon, no? Na thickness ng ating pundasyon. Okay? So for example, yung nag-govern kasi is for punching, for example. Now, yung effective depth ng punching by definition ng NSCP is measured dito sa gitna ng top and then the bottom. So kung nandito yan sa gitna, yung magiging design thickness natin is simply equal to effective depth plus 1 diameter plus concrete cover. Okay? So obviously, kung 1 diameter yung multiplier natin dito, mas maliit na yung ibibigay niya sa atin na design thickness. Okay? Kaya regardless man, no, kung punching man yung nag-govern or wide beam or whatsoever, ito lagi yung magiging formula natin for the thickness. D plus 1.5 diameter plus the concrete cover. Now, let's substitute everything here. The effective depth na nag-govern ay 243.5. So this is now in millimeter plus 1.5 diameter of the rebar is 25 mm plus yung minimum na concrete cover natin for foundation is 75 mm. Meron tayo ditong 356 mm na thickness. Then of course, ayaw naman natin na ganito yung magiging itsura ng ating design thickness. So pwede natin tong sabihin na thickness is equal to 360 mm. Oops! Since nandito ka na rin naman sa part ng video ito, maaaring pa-like, share, and subscribe ka na rin sa ating channel.
Channel 登録お願いします。
Alright, then next, we solve for the main bar reinforcement. Okay, so for the footing A. So ito yung ating dimension for the footing A, 2.3 by 2.4. Then 0.4 yung ating wall dito. Okay, so again, yung column natin naging wall na dito. Okay, so ito yung magiging location ng ating critical for MU. Okay, so dito siya mapuputol bale, no, because of the bending. Now, this is the section or the area for the critical MU natin. Now, tawagin natin ito na N, which is equal to 0.95. Again, paano nakuha yung N equal to 0.95? That is 2.3 minus 0.4 gives us 1.9 and then hati dito sa taas and then baba. So meron tayo ditong N na equal to 0.95. Now dito, ito yung mapuputol na area para sa bending. Okay, then for example, ito yung itsura na yan. So gawin lang natin yung kanyang 3D dito. We have here 0.95 and then 2.4, ito yung kanyang length. Tapos of course sa ilalim ng naputol na to, okay, meron tayo ditong QU. Because of this QU, okay, so meron tayong resultant for the QU here which is equal to the FU na lang. Tawagin nating FU and then because of this FU, magkakaroon to ng moment. Magkakaroon ng resistance dito ng moment. Para makuha natin yung MU, kailangan muna natin ng magnitude ni FU. Okay, so for the formula of FU, this is simply equal to the QU times the area shaded or the area. Okay, so ano yung area na yon? That is the 2.4 by the N. Okay? So again, yung QU natin dito ay 162.87 times yung area natin ay yung shaded dito. 2.4 by 0.95. And then, meron tayo ditong FU na 371.34 kilonewton. This will act at the center of the area shaded. So, half netong N, then half netong 2.4. Then, para makuha natin yung ating MU, this is simply equal to the FU times N over 2. Half netong N na nakikita natin. Okay, so dun siya magmo-moment dito sa naputol dito. Critical for MU. Now, substitute natin dito, 371.34 times 0.95 divided by 2 gives us 176.39 kilonewton meter. Okay, so meron na tayong MU dito na design moment natin dito. So, pwede na natin kunin yung area ng reinforcement. Then, finally, yung kanyang number of rebars. Now, the formula for MU is simply equal to phi mn. Then, mn naman ay equal to 0.85 F prime C AB times quantity D minus A over 2. Alright, then next, calculate the effective depth for the moment. So, dito naman, iba na yung calculation natin. So, may nakuha na tayong thickness kanina. Then, gagamitin naman natin yung value ng thickness na yun to calculate the new D or effective depth for the moment, no? Specifically for the moment. So, dito ang nakikita natin na formula is, so yung thickness natin dito ay magiging effective depth. Okay, so measured from the top to the center of the bottom bar. So, ganun yung effective depth natin para sa moment. Then, plus half of the diameter, then plus yung concrete cover. So, ito yung magiging formula natin pag sa effective depth for the moment. Now, substitute lang natin yung mga nakuha natin kanina. 360 is equal to the effective depth na bago plus 0.5 ng 25 plus 75. Then, meron tayo ditong effective depth for the moment na 272.5 meters or mm. Okay, then substitute lang natin lahat dito. Okay, so yung mn natin dito ay mu over phi or 176.39 times 10 raised to 6 divided by 0.9. Again, yung phi natin dito ay always 0.9. Then this is equal to 0.85 f prime c natin na 21 times yung a unknown times yung b natin dito ay 2,400. So ito yung area nung naputol dito. So yung width niya ay of course yung 2.4 pero in mm dapat. Times yung d na nakuha natin kanina, yung bago for mu, that is 272.5 minus a over 2. Okay, meron tayo ditong a na equal to 17.34 mm. Then, equate lang natin yung compression sa tension. Okay, so meron tayo ditong compression na 0.85, F prime C natin 21, AB. A natin dito ay 17.34 times 2,400 is equal to, yung tension naman natin dito ay ASFY. Yung FY natin ay 276. So, meron tayo ditong AS na equal to 2,691.47 mm square. Pero hindi pa to yung sagot. We need to check first yung minimum area natin for the reinforcement. Okay, so yung ating formula for the minimum area is equal to 1.4 over FY times the BD. So, yung ating AS min dito ay 1.4 over 276 times 2,400 times 272.5 na effective depth. Okay, so finally, meron tayo ditong AS min na 3317.39 mm square. Compare lang natin dito, no? So, between the two, yung mag-govern dito, by the way, is, of course, yung may pinakamalaking magnitude. So, yung mag-govern dito ay yung 3317.39 mm square. So, gusto natin mas malaking area para mas madaming bakal yung ibigay sa atin. Okay, so the number of bars now is equal to AS divided by pi over 425 square. Now again, yung AS dito ay of course yung nag-govern na area. So that is 3317.39. Then meron tayo ditong 6.76 pieces. Or pwede nating sabihin that this is actually equal to 7 pieces. Now this will be our answer for letter D. Alright, and then the last one, the strap beam shear reinforcement. So yung width ng ating strap dito ay binigay na rin na 500 mm. Then this one is the elevation view of the strap footing ulit. So nandito yung ating ultimate na PA, then PB, then meron din tayo ditong RAU and then the RBU. So for the critical, okay, this is the critical location of the MU and VU for the strap beam. Now recall natin yung ating formula, that the QU is equal to the RU divided by the area of the footing. So, separate natin kunin yung value ni RAU and then the RBU using this equation. So, pwede nating sabihin that RA or the RAU is actually equal to QU times the area of the footing A. Then, for the RBU naman is simply QU times the area of the footing B. So, ganito lang yan. Yung RAU natin ay QU times area of the footing. 162.87 times yung area ng footing natin for footing A, that is 2.4 by 2.3. So, meron tayo ditong RAU na 899.04 kilonewton. Then, for the RBU naman, QU, 162.87 times yung area niya ay 2.6 square. So, meron tayo ditong RBU na 1,101 kilonewton. Okay? Then, ito na yung separate, okay, isolated, footing A, then isolated na footing B natin. So, dahil kinat na natin siya dito, meron lalabas dito ng mga VU natin. Say, for example, pababa dito sa left, then pataas naman dito sa ating right. Now, yung formula ng VU natin dito sa left, that is simply equal to, of course, positive yung opposite sa VU. Okay, so yung opposite dito sa VU dito sa left ay yung RAU. So, siya yung positive, then minus yung PAU dito. Then, sa kabila naman, yung positive dito ay yung opposite, which is yung PBU naman, minus RBU. Okay, so ganun lang yung simple equation natin. Now, substitute natin everything. RAU natin ay 899.04 minus yung PAU natin na 760. Then, yung PBU naman natin dito ay 1240 minus 11.0. 1101. So finally, meron tayo ditong VU na 139.04 kN para sa left. Then meron din tayo ditong 139.0 kN dito sa right. So ito yung sinasabi natin na yung VU natin for the left is always equal to the VU to the right. So 0.04 kN is almost negligible, no? Okay, then finally, meron na tayo ditong equation. VU equal to the phi VN. Again, yung VU natin, na-solve na natin, 139. Tapos, equate lang natin sa phi VN natin. So, expand natin dito yung phi VN muna. Again, yung phi natin dito ay 0.75. Then, yung VN dito ay yung VC lang ito essentially. So, that is 16 lambda square root F prime Z times the BD. Okay, then substitute natin yung VU natin dito. Say, for example, yung 139 yung inadapt natin. Hindi yung 139.04. No? So, yung whole number na lang, 139 times 10 raised to 3 natin to equal to 0.75 times quantity, 1 over 6. Lambda is 1, square root of 21 times yung strap width natin na binigay na rin 500, then the effective depth. So yung effective depth natin para sa ating strap beam is simply equal to 485.32 mm. Okay? Or pwede nating sabihin ito na 490 mm na lang para mas masimplify natin. Okay, and then kunin natin yung ating S, okay, yung spacing natin by using the formula D over 2 or 600 mm, whichever is the lesser. Okay, so 490 divided by 2 or 600 mm, that is 245 or 600 mm. So of course, yung spacing na kukunin natin dito ay yung pinakamaliit, 245 mm. Then finally, pwede na natin kunin yung area ng ating shear reinforcement. That is 0.35 BWS over FYT. So substitute natin everything, 0.35 times yung width natin dito ay 500 times yung spacing na nag-govern ay 245, divide this by 276. Then finally, meron tayo ditong area ng shear reinforcement na 155.34 mm square. So this one is actually the answer. Now, if ever man, follow-up question, what if 10 mm yung ating shear reinforcement na ginamit? Then determine naman natin kung ilang legs ng stirrups yung gagamitin. So meron kasi tayong 2 legs, meron tayong 3 legs, 4 legs, no? Depende. So, dito, for example, 155.34, ilang legs kaya ito? For example, 10 mm yung ginamit dito na bakal. Now, of course, yung ating area nung shear is equal to the number of the legs times area nung cross-section nung ating bakal. So, again, yung AB dito is the cross-sectional, then the number of legs yung N. So, 155.34 mm square is equal to the number of the legs times, of course, yung area ng isang cross-section is simply pi over 4, 10 square. Then, meron tayo ditong N na 1.977. So, almost 2 na siya, no? Muntik pa siyang lumagpas ng 2. Pero, however, no, less than 2 pa rin naman ito. So, pwede nating sabihin that this is actually two-legged shear reinforcement. So, ito lang po yung ating strap foundation.